Are we live? Are we live? Are we live? Are we live? We're live, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. We're back. We're live. I mean, I could do a little dance. I could do a little jig. I could do whatever I can do, but doesn't matter because we're here, and that's all that matters today, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we may not be out here for long. We'll gauge that out. But it depends on how many people we got coming in here, and how much they're willing to drop in the coffers. For your boy, we gotta grow. We gotta grow this whole thing here. Um, but it's Friday, um, right? Fridays are usually going to be non-stream days, right? For me, because Saturdays will be the day before the game stream. Thursdays will be the breaking down the opponents we're going to be facing in the upcoming week, in the upcoming weekend. So Fridays are just fun uh, flex days that I can stream or not stream. I could choose to go hang out with my wife, and that would be cool too. I could choose to be here for an hour, 2 hours, however long it takes to get as much Raider talk out of my head as possible. Because guess what? I am a giant. What's the way to put it? What is something that just takes a giant vacuum of Raider information and Raider love? I eat Raiders. I eat, it sounds gross. I eat Raiders. um, every day, every single day, I think about the Raiders in every facet. So I gotta get all the info out of my head so I can you know go to bed and sleep well. Unless the Raiders lose, because then it's just like the good thing about Raiders losing or not losing though is that this year, because all of our games are on Sunday, right? We don't have any primetime games, so all of our games are on Sunday. Yeah, on Sunday. Yeah, at least we'll be able to. If we lose, we'll be able to get over it that Sunday, and then Monday, I guess, be ready. Whatever. It's still better than losing a game on some Monday night, because then you're just like, you gotta recover on Tuesday and Wednesday, but then like by Thursday, you already got to start thinking about the next opponents. But then you know what the crazy thing about this year Raider football is that I think every week is going to be a good, fun week for Raider fans, right? This is the thing that people like, that I've been saying about Fernando Mendoza, is that once you have a franchise quarterback, like until he becomes a disaster, like every week is just fun because every week you're learning something new about your new quarterback. You're figuring out something new about the team. And this year, particularly, the Raiders team is so new, so fresh, and so young that like pretty much everything that's going to be happening with the Raiders week by week is just going to kind of be a pretty interesting thing that Raider Nation would want to be there for. So, yo, Vente, finally, yo, thanks for coming in on a new time. This is the new time. We might have some people join us tonight. Actually, last night we had a couple people join us, and I'm also going to be on somebody else's show tomorrow night. If he comes in tonight, we'll give an introduction there. But how have you been, my man? We are fully rock and roll now. We are fully ready to go. The schedule is set. This would be the new time. We'll start generally between 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock, but probably closer to 9 o'clock most times. And then we'll go for as long as we kind of want. So what I was saying before Vente hopped in here is that this year, Raider fans, it's just gonna just be good for us every single week. Because, like I said, once you get that franchise quarterback, until he completely messes up and you have to rethink everything, right? Every week is just fun because every week you're learning something new about this quarterback that we got, or the team. Yeah, I like this time better as well. I just have to confirm it with my family, kind of make sure that it works and that my son doesn't wake up. And yeah, everything is good. He doesn't wake up. I will spend plenty of time with my wife generally before 9 o'clock. The latest I would generally start would be around 9:30. Still gives us a good hour to 2 hours to do some good Raider talk. You've been busy, very nice, very good. Yeah, stay busy, man, because I'm quite busy too on that front. Obviously, trying to get this channel to be profitable for me and for Raider Nation as a whole. So but the good news with this year for Raider fans is every week is going to be fun to watch. Every week, Raider fans are going to tune in. Every week, we're going to be happy to tune in. When we lose, we're going to be unhappy, but we're going to recover very quickly because, again, we have that franchise quarterback. And people know this, and we just need to say it out loud. In football, once you get the franchise quarterback, it's the ultimate relief for the entire fan base that okay, there is a future because that's what a franchise quarterback means in the NFL. You have a future for at least 4 to 5 years. You have somebody that you're going to look at and pray and hope that they become the thing that solidifies your franchise for the next 20 years. Because again, remember, if Fernando becomes a really good franchise quarterback, it doesn't just help the team in the immediacy, it actually helps us for the next like 20 years of football. It just brings in a lot of really goodwill towards the team. Just look at the Chiefs, right? Because of Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs are in a different stratosphere of importance. Yes, the fact that what's his name? Travis Kelsey. The fact that Travis Kelsey is marrying Taylor Swift, guess what? That had a lot to do with the fact that the Chiefs were winning a lot of games, and therefore they were just getting invited to a lot of events, which allowed them to kind of just meet a lot of people. And when you win games and championships as much as the Chiefs were winning, yeah, it will boost the confidence of their players, like a Travis Kelsey. And he's gonna go up to the world's biggest pop star and say, "Hey, I want to marry you," and then she's gonna say, "Okay." You see what I'm saying? That's just how these things work, right? When you win, people will show up. But before you start winning, the number one first indication that a winning is about to start for a team or a winning could start for a team is to get a franchise quarterback in the NFL, right? Such as Barcelona. What was a sign for Barcelona that something big might be coming when they signed Messi? It worked out for them. Barcelona got shot up to the stratosphere. This is what the Raiders' hope is. So this year and even next year, every single game is going to be important. Every single game is going to be fun. Every single game is going to give something for Raider Nation to talk about. And in our case for Raider Nation, the potential franchise quarterback that we got is not a dud. He's actually already a winner, and he seems to play every part of his role as a franchise quarterback up till now very clearly, very definedly. It's all going so well that this coming up season for the Raiders is going to be an absolute blast. Maybe not for you, although I think for you as well. But for me, every game is going to be a blast. Every play is going to be a blast because we have two brand new. All of our coaches are new. Most of our coaches are new, but on the two most important coaching, they're both brand new as well. I want to see what plays Kubiak calls every single play. I want to see what play Rob Ryan calls every single play. So everything with the Raiders right now is just extremely exciting. All right. So I want to watch a couple more videos. So a couple more recap videos of minicamp because we're getting ready for training camp. So minicamp is extremely important to kind of just keep talking about and keep highlighting the people that were shining because those same people, if they continue to shine, they'll make the 53-man roster. I do plan on making a 53-man roster video. You guys let me know if you want that quicker, how quickly you want that. I could do it as quickly as early next week, or I can wait till we get more information from training camp. I could do multiple of those videos, but I would only do that if it's specifically requested. I'm fine to just do one to see how many things I get correctly and then just go with that. Or to continue to do it as we get team news from during training camp. But training camp is approximately 2 weeks, and then straight from there you hop straight into preseason. And by the end of the third preseason game, we got to get down to 53 people, right? Okay, so let's check this video out. This is a recap. This is not a recap. That is a commercial. America First Credit Union will not work for me. I do not live in. Nevada.
There's a standard.
There's a standard.
And that's the standard he set. And you know, if
this
you
the
want
one
to
we
be great
saw
in this
yesterday?
league, there's a way
No,
to
it's not.
prepare, a way to practice, a way to work, a way to be connected as a team. Everything starts
I'm liking this
with Clint's leadership.
I think it's our job as coaches to set expectations and to give a detailed plan and to see the players executed. And because on Sunday everybody's job's on the line and we're counting on everybody.
On Sunday, everybody's job is on the line. That's the name of the game.
So it's just important that we're all held accountable. We know what the standard is, and we go execute the plan.
Oh, that's our boy right there. I am Keon Crawford. Really stoked about him. Really, really big hopes for him, but hopefully we don't put too much pressure on him. So I've been really happy with him because he has not been on social media. Actually, none of the radio players outside of Maxx Crosby have really been. And Genty has his own YouTube channel now, which makes sense. Genty's for a second-year guy, Genty's pretty well established. His training regimen is pretty well established. Genty's got his own people. There's a good chance that Keon Crawford doesn't fully have his own people yet, and he's just developing that right now. So I'm quite glad that he's not in the social media making noise and staying put. Even for radio media days and whatnot, he hasn't really been in a whole lot of those places, and I think it's because he's really getting football ready, because he knows that due to his lack of football experience, he's going to have to come into training camp ready to go. And I hope he comes in training camp a bit bigger, a bit stronger, so we can start seeing that power that I know he has. Oh, Tyler Lindenbaum. And that was DJ Glaze. So we have currently 4 QBs. Oh, okay. No, him. Who's number 16? Who's 16?
This day, I'm trying to become the best version of myself, so I can best.
16 should be our what is that? Practice squad QB, right? But I don't know who he is. I don't remember his name.
Serve my teammates down the road.
Stokes. Is Stokes Irish? Does he have some Irish descendancy in him? I ask because he's got the red. Irish or Scottish? He's English, Northern English, more precise. He's got the red, but he also has freckles. See? Yeah, he's got freckles. He's definitely mixed, but I wonder if he's Irish or Scottish. That would be really cool to find out. Hey, Eric, if you're ever watching this, you want to give an answer to this or come on the show and talk, I'm always down. Don't worry. It'll be worth your while. But I am actually curious. This is really cool because he has really nice freckles and red, which generally means Northern English. So I'm curious about that.
Our guys have taken the coaching, they're doing everything we ask them to do. I definitely see an improvement from where we started. So you get what you can out of this time of year, and then the real evaluation comes, with those 11 practices before we play that first preseason game.
Yep, 11 days before the first preseason game.
I believe the team is very connected.
What number is Tonka? Is this 99? Is 99 Tonka? Hemingway?
And it's a young core. So we're all able to mesh together.
This should be trading Stooks and his best friend, right? Yeah, this is Stooks. What's his friend's name? Terrian Johnson? No, Terrian Johnson, I think, is a corner. I think his last name is Johnson, though.
We're all able to mesh together.
Out of Arizona.
Got to finish strong
Quay
here this
Walker.
week, and then we just keep building on it over the summer and into training camp. So, so much ahead of us, but it's been good to kind of get a foundation under our feet here the last couple months.
Genty. This battle is going to be very important. This battle right here. Yeah, this battle is going to be very important. Ugh. Who's number 99? I mean, I can find out, obviously, but I want to keep watching this. I'm just trying to see if I can catch anything at all to give me a little clue to anything that my brain can latch onto. Mm. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so this is the Raider mailbag notes by Levi Edwards. Levi Edwards is one of the main reporters for the Raiders. He does a very good job. I follow him on Twitter, so he's got really really good resources. Obviously, Lee Ryan from Minnesota asked. Okay, so Lee Ryan from Minnesota. This is fan questions. While progress has been made, Fernando Mendoza is still adjusting to the speed of the NFL. Oh, okay. The question was, how did Mendoza start OTA? Newsflash: every NFL rookie is still adjusting. True. A majority of Mendoza's drafts were with the rest of the rookie class, and he looked the part of a number one pick, obviously. Okay. And yes, babe. My wife is gonna come in real quick to grab something. Um, a majority when he got in with the veterans, he was a bit shaky, hot, cold, perfect. That's exactly what we want. I feel confident that I'm able to see the field well. Yep, good. That's good. And that my growing pains are coming. I got to time up my footwork, obviously, a little better with the routes. Okay, the intricacies here. Okay, perfect. Relying communication. Yeah, he's saying the right things. This is what it should sound like. Okay. Dean Hackman from Texas. Hey, Dean Hackman from Texas. The actor, Dean Hackman. There's an actor. Yeah, there's an actor named Dean Hackman. Is he alive though? Huh. With all the talk of not having a true wide receiver. Okay, let's see what the answer for this is. A true wide receiver. Why not sign an unsigned free agency to improve wide receiver core? And like I've already answered this many times for people. I really don't think we need to. I think it'll be a panic. Look for Malik Benson to see if we can get something out of him. But let's see what the team says. This seems to be a hot topic of conversation among Raider Nation over the past few years, and there's some good veteran options at receivers still on the market. Yes. Name that pops out is Stephon Diggs. Yeah, not really though, right? I don't know. I don't want Stephon Diggs. Nevertheless, there's some promising receivers already on the roster. Jalen, no, this is not the name that I would go with for promising. I know, and I'll show you why. It's the age. At 27, promising isn't going to work. Yeah, promising won't work at that age because you got people behind you who are just going to be younger and faster. Now, somebody who was going to give balance to the offense. That Jalen Noor is going to be more like a Mac Hollins, a good player, a good journeyman who's going to bounce from team to team. So, yeah, I don't think I think he's the amount he's played hasn't shown that he could be anything more than just a good third receiver rotation. Could make a blazing fast outside duo with Trey Tucker. Okay. Trey Tucker is going to be okay. So I do know what they mean here. So meaning Trey Tucker is going to be the slot and Jalen Noor is going to be the outside. Yeah. Yes, I can see that happening. And I do believe I think Trey Tucker is going to get over 1,000 yards this year. I do. It was at 700 last year. I think he's going to get I think he's going to get close to 1,000. Let's just say he's going to get around 900 plus and 1,050 this year. Because based on based on how bad the team was last year and how much more offensive plays we're going to run because the offense is just better, yes, I believe it can get up to 300 more yards this coming year. Okay. Jack Bash. Jack Bash would do better, but he's going to be a big slot. I'm not going to make any predictions on Jack Bash quite yet because I think what he needs to have a breakout isn't quite as clear because he doesn't have the speed like a Trey Tucker, and he doesn't have as much of the polish as a Brock Bauer. So where do you put him? It's a big slot, right? That's where you put him. Um, but as a big slot, I wonder if he's going to be more impactful in the running game initially before he starts making a breakout to become something more, right? Um, 6'1", 214. Let me see what Michael Mayer is. We'll get there when we get there. There is promise there, but I don't think the promise is quite enough. And Donte Thornton, I've said it before. I'll say it again quickly. I think he needs to put on a bit more weight. I would like to see around 15 more pounds. It'll make his body a bit, a little bigger. Maybe not 10, but I want at least 7 because he's gonna make his body more able to block out to defend against aggressive corners. Because with somebody that tall, corners are just going to try and just essentially just be physical with him. So if he was a little bit bigger, I think that would be more helpful. Even 210 of good muscle would be helpful. Because at 6'5", here's what we're gonna Higgins, that's his name, Higgins. Higgins is the only other really tall receiver right now in the NFL that I can think of, right? What's his first name? Jamal Higgins or Chase Higgins? No, it's not Jamal Higgins. Ted Higgins. Let's see. What is his measurables? I live in Canada. They're giving them this stuff in. Weight loss. Why would he lose weight? Yeah, I can't. Yeah, exactly. See what I'm saying? He's 220. 6'4", 220. Yeah, Donte Thornton. I know it sounds weird to say, but Donte Thornton is too light. He needs to put on weight. He really does. He needs to put on weight. He does. Um, if he does, he should still be able to run as fast. But at 210 and that tall, you're just going to be too slender. That corners are just going to try and muscle you out of the way, right? Now let's try Jamar Chase, right? That's his name. Weight loss. He didn't fucking lose weight, people. Shut up. Why would he lose weight? Okay, so he's 205, 6 foot, perfect size. Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with it. I think that's my thing. Donte Thornton needs to gain weight. He does. He needs to gain weight. After seeing Higgins, I'm gonna say he's got to put on at least 10 pounds. He's got to be at least 215, and a lot of that needs to be muscle in the most core areas of his body, lower body, upper body, shoulder, things that can, yeah, and because I've said this before, and I know I'm going a little bit long on him now. Because the thing is, what you want him to do, what the Raiders coaches would like for Donte Thornton to be efficient at is being able to catch the ball no matter where it's thrown. Because you're tall, you're long, you should be the safety blanket for the quarterback when we're throwing deep, right? We just want to be able to chuck it and then you get it. The problem is. And I know people are gonna say you can do it. I'm wrong, but I know I expect it. That's why it's a good debate. The problem is at 205 for a 6'5" person, you're going to be too slender. You're not going to have enough muscle to be able to muscle out corners who are going to try and muscle you out because that's the only option that they have. You're too tall, so the only option that they have is to muscle you out. So you have to muscle them back. So you're gonna 10 more pounds should be good. So let's hope that when he comes into camp this year or even next year, and he's already 23, so he doesn't have a ton of time, that he puts on a bit more weight. But again, some people are just not able to put on weight. I do think it's rare though that a person just wouldn't be able to put on a bit more weight at 6'5". I That's gonna be rare that you can find a program that's gonna bulk you up a little bit better. That's a little bit better. I think that's going to be unlikely. I think you can easily find someone who's going to teach you how to bulk up a little better in the right places to have a bit more power, which will also reduce injuries because again, your body needs to make sense. If you're going to be really tall, you've got to have enough mass, right? So that you're not just all bones. Okay. All right. Okay. So then, but one receiver in particular, okay, and they're saying that one receiver in particular seems to be the most, have the most opportunities, and that's Malik Benson. Because yes, I've said it again. I'll say it again. Malik Benson is the perfect prototype build for a wide receiver in the modern era. This is it right here. 6'1", 195. Actually, I would say 195, not even 200. 200 is fine because 200 you start getting into chase, and chase is good. 195. That means you can go deep. That means you can go slant. You can go cutbacks. You can go post. You can go out. You can do everything with this size and this weight because here he will be able to fight aggressive corners consistently. He's got the size for it, right? Um, And the difference between him and Trey Tucker, of course, is going to be Trey Tucker is just a little bit smaller, but Trey Tucker is 182. So for somebody who's 5'8", 182 actually is quite a good, really good. And if you see Trey Tucker's really built. Like he's jacked, right? Just like Genty, except he's a little bit taller than Genty. So you get the point. So but he's going to be a pure inside guy because tall corners are just gonna defend you up top. If you're this size and you're going up against a number one corner, it's gonna be quite easy for them. They'll just defend you up top unless you're really, 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 really fast, right? So okay, next question. Charles Holt from California. Where where is the Kobe Dean? That's what everyone's asking. Where is Nicobe Dean? Nicobe, where are you? Linebacker Nicobe Dean wasn't on field for the OTA at all. While Kubiak didn't give specific on why Dean hasn't practiced yet, he's more concerned on making sure he's fully up to speed and ready to go for training camp. Being cautious with Dean seems to be a wise decision. So again, we're being cautious with him, right? Nicobe Dean here, he's been there every day, so it's okay. He's been there every day, but he hasn't practiced. But all injuries and things like that, I don't want to talk about at this time. Okay. Sorry, guys. You're just gonna have to just, um, yeah. It is what it is on Nicobe Dean. We're just gonna have to just kind of be patient on that front. So yeah, and there's not a whole lot that coaches can do outside of that. So, um, so a couple of things I want to do next. I want to look at some coaches. Actually, let me go back real quick and look at Genties again. I think I've already looked up. I think Brock Bauer is 6'1". Oh no, 6'2", 6'4". Yeah, Brock Bauer is bigger than he looks. So Brock Bauer looks Brock Bauer actually looks small. I think it's because Brock Bauer has really good base and really good balance. That's why his movement is really excellent. That's the thing with Bowers. His movement is really smooth. He's a very good mover. His body is built to just be able to kind of flow through the wind really well. I know I said wind, you're gonna be like, wind. Are you talking about a car? No, I'm actually saying that his body is pretty aerodynamic as a human being, that it just kind of moves smoothly through routes. That's his main thing. He's a very smooth mover. Uh, s- okay, so when you see guys like Brock Bauer, he doesn't look like a prototypical, like a person who should be a Hall of Famer in the NFL, but he is going to be a Hall of Famer in the NFL. Barring any like injuries or anything, he is going to be a Hall of Famer in the NFL because his body's built really well to just be able to be very effective for what he does. So he's at 235, so he doesn't have blazing speed, right? So you would think he doesn't move well because most tight ends don't move that well, right? They don't move as well as running backs or wide receivers. They're just generally a bit too big. But because his body proportion is so well built, he moves really smoothly. And that's when you find the outlier tight ends that their body is just built in such a way that they just move and flow through the air because yeah, of course they're running against the wind in the air. They're flowing, move through the air more efficiently. I bet if I look up Travis Kelsey, he's gonna be the same body build as Bauer. Kelsey, what? How do you spell Kelsey? How do you spell his name? Because I don't really care, right? Yeah, exactly. He's actually a little bit bigger. 250. Yeah. How tall is he? Yeah, 6'5". Yeah, 6'5", 250. Um, yeah. So this is like the perfect prototypical 235 at 6'4", 6'5" at 250. I would say Travis could probably slim down a little bit more. Let me do this. I want to look. I just want to look up tight ends now. I want to see what the league is working with when it comes to tight ends. Let's look at our second tight end, Michael Myers. Yeah, I said that on purpose. We got a couple. We got a couple. Michael Myers on our team. um, yeah, we call him Michael Myers, right? Not definitely not Freddy. Who's the other slasher? Michael Myers, and then there is. I think Michael Myers was always my favorite. Jason. Michael Myers was always my favorite. The difference is Jason has a hose on his mask, and Michael Myers just has a dead face. Okay, let me. Oh, no measurables. Oh, yeah, there are. Okay. Ho ho. You are gonna love this. Okay. So Michael Mayer, I call him his real name. Michael Mayer is 256. Okay. Kelsey is 250. The difference between Michael Mayer being 256, Kelsey 250, and Bowers being 236 is the movement and the blocking. Mayer is going to be a better blocker, right? So this is why Travis Kelsey is particularly a unicorn because Travis Kelsey can also block pretty well. Travis Kelsey was like a Travis Kelsey is one probably top three best tight end of in the history of football, right? We agree on that, right? I know he's a Chief, so we're not supposed to like him, but if you look stats, wins, measurables, Travis Kelsey is probably top three, no lower than top five. Top three. I'm just gonna say top three best tight end of all time. So good build at 6'5", 250. Yeah, he can block. He can, and he just happens to be able to run. His body again happens to be able to move well. But Brock Bauer is a much better receiving tight end right now than Travis Kelsey is. you've seen it. You've seen what Brock Bauer can do. If you times that by the same amount of time that Travis Kelce has played football without any significant injuries, yeah, no, Brock Bauer is going to be a much better receiving tight end than Travis Kelce is. Brock Bauer's body is just built better for it. Okay, now let's go back to Jack Bash, because here's where it gets interesting, because Jack Bash falls into a little bit of a different category, right? And that's why it's just like, okay, he's too small for tight end because it's 214. It's too big for outside wide receiver because it's 6'1", and 214 again. If he was 225, he would be a tight end. If he was 225, he would be a tight end. But at 6'1", would that be a bit too wide? So that's why I said, like, I don't know where Jack Bash is going to fit. I really don't. I don't know where he's going to fit. But Nation, you know what? We could just say this. He's going to fit all over the field. That's just it. He's going to fit all over the field. It could be that he's going to be the ultimate diversion tactic. That could just be it. That Jack Bash will just on the team will just forever be the person who is going to somehow be on every single play, because on every single play there is a way that we're going to use him. On every single play, he can block because he's got the size. On every single play, he can play slot because he's got the size to be big, and he can also play out because he's got the size to be out on short yardage. If you're gonna put him on the outside, it's gonna be short yardage. You're not gonna make him go fly, right? If you make him go fly, you're using something else to distract from the fact that a 214-pound slowpoke is moving on the waist side of the field, right? Slowpoke compared to corners and safeties, right? The entire defense will have to mess that up. But you put him on the outside, short yardage, 5 yards, 6 yards, 7 yards. Yeah, so no, I think let me know on stream right now or after stream, if you're watching after, your thought on that. Because as I'm thinking about it even more, I'm just like, no, Jack Bash is just going to be on every play. He's just going to be an ultimate mix-up guy. Yeah, he's going to be your ultimate mix-up guy. Because he's got the perfect size and height to just be able to do everything somewhat. And then from there, you can kind of just pick out where he's most efficient. But hey, he might just be one of the best at being most efficient on every part of the receiving core for a team. Right? Yeah. He's not tall enough for tight end. Yeah, I know that sounds weird to say, right? He's not tall enough or big enough. So he's not big enough for a full tight end, but he's also not tall enough to be a big tight end. You know, somebody who's going to be who's a big tight end. Travis Kelce's Travis Kelce, 6'5". You see what I'm saying? Big tight end. So he's not a big tight end. He's more like a big tight end. Big wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? This is big tight end. He's here. Big tight end. Right? And if the bottom is really good, prototypical wide receiver, he's also like here. Right? So he's just in the middle of both tight end and wide receiver. So what I would do with somebody like that is put him on every play as much as I can, because what he can do can come out of anything. His effectiveness can come out of anything. So if that's the case, just put him on the field all the time and have the defense always thinking about him being effective in everything. And when you combine that with a Brock Bauer who's very effective coming from the tight end slot, yeah. I think you got some options there. Okay, what other tight ends do I want to see? Who just got drafted recently? How big do you think Jason Kelce is when he played? Yeah, brothers, 295, 250. Yeah, an extra 40 pounds. Yeah, and that would make you a center. Yeah, that works. He's also Travis Kelsey is a prototypical center because I guess people don't notice centers are smaller than guards. Yes, prototypical centers are smaller than guards. Yeah, that's the JPJ problem. Prototypical guards are sorry, centers are smaller than guards. Let's see what Linenbaum is because I bet you Linenbaum is going to be around 295 as well. I haven't checked in a minute, so this is actually going to be. I did a video on this already, but I forgot what his weight was. So this is going to be a quick, short look back because I'm guessing 6'1", 297, close to that, 305, 6'2", 305. Okay, he is shorter than most guards would be. Jason Kelsey was 6'3". Yeah, it's perfect. A lot of guards and linemen are going to be around 6'5", 6'6", right? Real big. Oh, if you want, oh, dude, this you're gonna love this. Check this comparison out. Colton Miller next to Lindenbaum. Lindenbaum. You're gonna love this. Look at that. See that size difference? Yeah. See that size difference? That this is a center. Eh, there are crazy things that people don't realize about football that are just like you think all linemen are like big size, same size. No, 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 no. This is a center. Why? Well, as a center, one, you're starting from a low position, holding the ball. Being lower to the ground is just really good because the lower you are to the ground, it's easier for you to push up on the person who's in front of you, but also bigger than you, right? That makes sense, right? Because you're lower, it's easier to right lower center of gravity. This is why Tyler Linderbaum is a all pro center. Let's look at the who is the other center because I want something to debunk this real quick. Who is the top center in the NFL right now besides Lindenbaum? No, not draft. Oh my goodness, Rodney Hudson. I think Rodney Hudson actually may have been an outlier because I think Rodney Hudson was actually quite big. Let's see. Who did I say? Oh, Creed Humphrey. Oh, for the Chiefs. Chiefs. What's the Chiefs? Okay, Creed Humphrey. Speaking of Creed, the band, love Creed. Man, this names, man. Creed Humphrey. I'm trying to think of a Creed song because oh man, I loved Creed growing up. Yeah, oh, man, spot on, spot on. So he's a little bit, no, not a little bit, 6'4", 302. Yeah, yeah, good size for a center. Um, so why wasn't JPJ a good center? Because two people have called JPJ not a good center. Two coaching staffs have said that he's good, but he's not a good enough as a center. Yo, Raider Nation Ponds, what up, my man? We are on JPJ, everyone's favorite topic, and why he is not a good enough center, even though he is good as a center, but he wasn't good enough, and two coaching staff have declared him not good enough. The reason why I believe is that his measurables are just a little bit too high for a center. The three top examples of the best centers in the NFL in the past while are just quite a bit smaller. Honestly, Creed Humphrey is 6'4", but he's only 301. Um, and thanks for joining Rated Pawns, because you'll find out quickly that I say things that other people don't say, because I come at things at a different angle, because I'm trying to break down why Lindenbaum is a better center than someone like a JPJ build. JPJ, and I think the difference is the build, right? Because going back to Lindenbaum, he's 301. Lindenbaum is 305. That's just a little bit too small for a guard, but it's perfect for a center. Why? Because the center technically has two helps. The guard helps, right? He technically has two helps on both sides, right? The center is really the only position that has that, right? Because the center generally isn't helping anybody but the center and the quarterback in football. You don't really want the center trying to help everybody but just the center and the quarterback by letting the quarterback know. In the case of Lindenbaum, letting the quarterback know what he thinks the defense is going to do based on what he sees. That's why Tyler Lindenbaum is one of the best in the NFL. He knows how to read defenses really, really, really well. One, JPJ is not as good at that. He's not. I'm not calling him names, but that's not his specialty. That is Tyler Lindenbaum's specialty. And secondly, JPJ is just a little bit too big. Okay, so then why was Jordan Meredith last year the center? All right, let's see if we can find an answer by just looking him up. We're going to get to the bottom of this, because people hated, not hated, but were really mad at Pete Carroll for doing this. And I'm telling people, like, no, Pete Carroll made the right decision, because our new coach came in and just said, we're not even going to broach the subject of JPJ as center, because that's not his preferred position. He's not great at it. We're just going to go and get the best. So no, Pete Carroll was right to say JPJ is not a good center, a good enough center. So why was Jordan Meredith there? Because I feel like Meredith is actually bigger than JPJ. So then let's find out why. Where is he at? And some people think Jordan Meredith will not make the team this year. And I say Meredith M. And I say, cool, if he doesn't, let me find it, and I'm going to remind you guys of something about Jordan Meredith for all the haters out there. Where is Jordan? There he is. Sheesh. Yeah, I'm spot on. I'm spot on. 6'2", 301. That is a center. Hey, anybody, I don't want to call anybody out yet. If you were asking, Pete Carroll was correct. Jordan Meredith was a better center than JPJ. Why? Well, right here, you can see the number one thing. He's smaller than JPJ. This is a center build. JPJ is 325. At the very least, that's going to matter. Well, but JPJ played center in college. Well, yeah, that's college, not the NFL. Right? All of your prototypical centers, Creed Humphrey, the best in the world, at 6'4", 302. Jason Kelsey, one of the best in the world, one of the best to ever do it, 295. Football makes sense. It has to make sense. If it doesn't make sense, you get last year Raiders. It has to make sense. So yeah, until something else comes along, I think this is the reason why JPJ is not a center, and why no one in their right mind would make him a center unless he was the only option that you have. But this now is problem for, yes, which also means that Jordan Meredith will be the backup. Yes, I know there is a content creator right now that is completely hating on Jordan Meredith. Let me just tell you, he's wrong. Jordan Meredith. You know what's so funny about that whole Jordan Meredith debate thing? That I'm like, I don't know why anyone was overlooking this much, much simpler conclusion. That is that Jordan Meredith didn't get injured at all last season. JPJ got injured twice last season. And that was just last season. Every other season he's been injured. And football makes sense. It has to make sense, or else you get a team that doesn't win football games. So when you're calling for things like make JPJ center, it's like, well, are you sure you can fit that, or are you just panicking and trying to throw anybody in there as you can see, as you can feel? And yes, I know the problem was JPJ declared himself the center before the season even started, but I'm sorry, it's mm. So we solved that problem. So this is the reason why the Raiders offensive line is going to be better. And yes, Jordan Meredith is the backup center. He is better at center than JPJ will be. Right? Availability is the best ability. I'm sorry, I've said it about JPJ. His playing style is too aggressive. It gets injured too much. Concussions. How many of them has he already has? Like 3 of them already? Right? So Jordan Meredith will be your backup center unless um, let's see who else can be a better center than Jordan Meredith, because it ain't JPJ. And I don't dislike JPJ, by the way. I don't dislike any Raider player ever. I don't dislike any Raider player. If you play for the Raiders, I love you. Let's talk. I would even talk to Antonio Pierce, because I believe very strongly that once you're a Raider, you're always a Raider. I am willing to. Antonio Pierce is the one that I'm just like, bro, you didn't play a single game. I don't even think you showed up for any practice. That might be the only one. Exactly. You cannot trust JPG as center. It's too important. I kept saying, you know how much content creators rated some one particular content creator was driving me nuts last year, because it's like, this is not correct information. You can't put JPJ in the most important position on the offense outside of quarterback when he gets injured too much. That doesn't even make sense. Your center needs to not get injured. That's the thing. Mm, Your center should not get injured. That's the number one rule of football. Because if your center gets injured, guess what? You're as good as having half a leg. You can put a peg leg in it. You'll still hobble, but hobbling won't win you football games. So, but who else could be center if it isn't going to be backup? If it isn't going to be Jordan Meredith? I think it's Jordan Meredith. I really do. I think he's going to be the backup. I think he's. Last year we had 2 good linemen, Jordan Meredith and DJ Glaze. Why? They played the entire season. You can't be better than on the field. Those were our 2 best linemen last year. Remember when our long snapper got injured? Oh, it was fucking pandemonium, dude. It was pandemonium. We couldn't kick a fucking, we couldn't kick a ball. We couldn't kick a ball because our long snapper got injured. Trust me. Football makes sense. When it doesn't make sense is when teams win 3 games. If a team is winning 3, 4 games, that's because their football isn't making sense. That's the quote of the day. That's the quote of the day. Football makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, that's how teams win 4 games. Okay. I don't see anybody else who would be. Yeah. Ooh, who are you? Justin Pickett. Rookie. Duke. 3'7". Oh, 6'7". Ooh, that's a guard. Yeah, that's a guard. 6'7" is a guard. Question: why is 6'7" guard, not a center? We know, right? Someone just needs to ask the question. Someone needs to be Socrates. Ask the question and you go, oh yeah, 6'7" cannot be center. You're right in front of the quarterback. He needs to be able to see. So actually, a good built lineman crew makes a bow. Center will be the shortest, and it'll bow out, and your tackles will be the tallest. And I've already said this before. One of the good things about why you should care that Fernando Mendoza is 6'5", it's because you can put bigger people in front of him and he'll still see over them. Yeah. That's a big deal. That's a really big deal. So a good lineman core bows out. Center is going to be the shortest, and it should bow out to your guards and your tackles being the tallest. Yeah. Russell Wilson. Why do I believe Russell Wilson should be in the Hall of Fame? Well, one, he won a Super Bowl, and Russell Wilson is short. You know how hard it is for that man to see over linemen. The fact that he got the okay, I know this doesn't matter because he's not a Raider, right? Okay, this is the reason why Russell Wilson deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. At his size, Russell Wilson had to develop particular ways of throwing the football to be able to be as effective as he was in football. So he had to do things differently than other quarterbacks because he was so short. Everyone, if there's a great wall of China in front of him every time he snaps the ball, meaning he had to find ways to throw the ball. So what Russell Wilson does, if you see Russell Wilson's deep ball, it is incredible because he has to throw with such an arch, right? Because his perception, when he looks out into the field, his perception isn't as flat as somebody like a 6'5" quarterback, right? So he doesn't see the field in front of him in a flat surface because there's mountains in front of him. Oh, dude, when you start breaking this stuff down, it's so cool, man. Yeah, that's why Russell Wilson deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He had to play the game so differently because of his size disadvantage as a quarterback. Short quarterbacks are not a thing. Short people don't play quarterbacks in the NFL successfully. Doug Flutie was good, but he's not a Hall of Famer, right? Let me actually look up Russell Wilson's size. I think Russell Wilson is probably going to be 6'1", maybe. That's a guess. Height 5'11". I swear I was thinking 5'11", and I'm like, that seems even way too short. Let me give him 6'1". Ladies and gentlemen, Russell Wilson was 5'11". Every time he snapped the ball, there were mountains in front of him. I live in Canada. When I look out my window, there's a mount in Seattle. What's that mountain? Mount Baker. Every time Russell Wilson snapped the ball, there were Mount Bakers in front of him. Not only that, and then he has to pick out that one person all the way over that's making a run and then figure out the trajectory from a 5'11" height to arc the ball to perfectly land 60 feet, 60 yards away to a pinpoint dot. And he did that so effectively that he won a Super Bowl. That's the reason why Russell Wilson deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. What he did as a quarterback was incredible because it doesn't work. 5'11" doesn't work as a quarterback. It doesn't work generally, unless you're Russell Wilson, right? Short man complex. This is right here. There it is. Here's your comparison. Here's your comparison. Who do you think has a harder time, harder time? Who do you think has a harder time throwing a deep ball? Russell Wilson does. You see this? You see this? This is massive. Okay, so that's we got to judge players correctly with their ability because all of sports really comes down to how does a person use that body to accomplish a task. And when your body presents itself much, much less than the average, that's extraordinary. Because remember, if Russell Wilson is 5'11", that also means he weighs a lot less than most other quarterbacks. Russell Wilson was typically around 205, 206 to 215. I don't even think he ever got to 215. I think Russell Wilson will be generally around 210. Yeah, that's why he should be in the Hall of Fame. Let's look up Doug Flutie real quick. Doug Flutie. I think Doug Flutie was also 5'11". I'm just guessing. I haven't looked, but I think he was also 5'10". Oh. Guys, this is so good. This is too spot on. Doug Flutie is incredible, but we can't Hall of Him because he didn't win a Super Bowl. We can't Hall of Fame him. He didn't win a Super Bowl. 5'10", honestly, even back in these days, they were probably shorter linemen. I think, but right, Russell Wilson works because he wins a Super Bowl, right? Which means Kyler Murray would be. I think Kyler Murray is 6 foot. 6 foot. I just spell Kyler. Kai. Kyler. Kyler Murray. Oh no, no, he's not 5'10". No, no, he's not 5'10", because they say he's 5'10". I think it's 5'11". See, let's say 5'11", 207. I did the same height. Oh, maybe there might be hair. Oh no, okay, maybe after hair. Yeah, let's just say 5'10", 5'11". Now let's look at a Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning. We already know he's 6'5", and he weighs 230 pounds. Yeah. Okay. It's football. It's sports. In all of sports, when it doesn't make sense is when you get outliers, a Russell Wilson, or you get a team that's bottoming out at with a record of 4-13, because it doesn't make sense. People are out of position. What they're doing doesn't make sense for what they're trying to do, right? And last year for the offense, it was the offensive line, which just Meredith just wasn't good enough, right? One other thing I'm curious about, another outlier. What's his name? Donald, for the Rams, retired. Donald Trump. No, Donald Trump. I know Donald Trump is around 6'5", actually. 6'3", yeah. Because guess what? Presidents are tall. Most presidents are tall, just so you know. Everyone knows that. Most world leaders are tall. Why? Well, if you go read the Bible, you'll actually find your answer. So when the Israelites decided to not listen to God anymore and pick, I'm not Bible, but I'm not teaching you the Bible or anything like that. It's just a funny little story. When the Israelites decided they were not going to listen to God anymore because they couldn't see God, and then God said, "Okay, fine, pick who your leader would be." What was the reason they picked Saul? Yo, Bush Raider, my man. Yeah. What was the reason to pick Saul? What was the number one reason? Anybody remember? He was tall. He was big. That was their number one reason for picking Saul. He was big. He was taller than everybody else. They were like, yeah, pick that guy. He's tall. He's taller than him. Pick that guy. Yeah, okay. That's how people pick leaders. So leaders are always tall because people just go, yeah, no, pick that guy. So yeah, I think 230. Yeah, again, man, sports makes sense. Peyton Manning was 6'5", 230. Yeah. Guess how big and tall Fernando Mendoza is? 6'5", 225 pounds. Yay! Oh, dude, Thi- I don't even think I need to keep doing this, right? Like this is just like prototypical. Like the way a player is built does matter for where we put them. Time for Bible study. Yeah, that was the reason. That's how they picked Saul. He was tall. He was the biggest person in the crowd. They said, "Yeah, let's pick him and make him our leader." And that's why when God elected David, that was such a for the people because David was the complete opposite, right? He was small. He was scrawny, except he had a good shot. One good shot. That's all it takes. um, oh man, this has been good. Okay, I don't know of any other topics that we need to talk about. Yeah, tenacious, but David had brains. David had brains, and when you have a person who has size with the brains to go with it, you do end up with somebody like a Peyton Manning, who I think Peyton Manning is. Okay, let me do this. I actually want to see Tom Brady's measurables because I think Tom Brady's like 6'4". Yep, 6'4", 225. Yeah, yeah, 6'4". Dude, okay, so and I half forgot. Here it is. Here it is. Here's the connection. when you have a person who has the measurables, the mind, and the heart to go with it, that's how you get Hall of Famers. That's how you get. That is actually how you get Hall of Famers. That's how you get national championship winning QBs. That's how you get national Heisman Trophy winning QBs. If they have the measurables, the brains, and the heart, those are the people who become goats. Okay. In the thing is though, there are enough people who are going to have those measurables that some people are going to fall through the cracks. So Tom Brady fell through the cracks in college. Tom Brady wasn't as good in college because Michigan just wasn't a good team. But as we can clearly see, he had the measurables. He had the brain because above all else, Tom Brady is known for his football brain, right? We remember the tuck rule, but if we're not gonna hate, if we're going to be good stewards of football, Tom Brady is one of the smartest NFL football players we've ever seen as a quarterback. He was extremely smart. He knew the right throws at the right times. He invented right throws at the right times, right? So what I am actually telling you is, based on everything we're seeing, Mendoza does have the makings to be a potential Hall of Famer. Now, will he get there? So now let's talk about people who had all of it but didn't get to Hall of Fame status. Who would you say quarterback wise had it all and was not a great NFL quarterback? And then let's talk about what made them not a great NFL quarterback. Let's just start at the very beginning. Ryan Leaf. Right? We knew what his problem was. We knew what his problem was, right? I don't want to. I do not want to look at Ryan Leaf's net worth because it is going to be much higher than you would think it should be for somebody who was the the first true bust in NFL. Ryan Leaf, height, 6'5". Okay, 6'5", 220 to 245. Okay, somebody I want. So to see this 245 here, that's getting to the problematic size for a quarterback, right? Could throw 6 yards in the knee, but couldn't have no football IQ or leadership. Ryan Leaf could throw the ball 60 yards, but had no football IQ, or maybe even if he did, but definitely did not have leadership. And then his weight starts getting close to 240. I am curious to see Jamarcus Russell's measurables. I'm betting it's going to be something around 6'5", but we're going to start pushing into the 245, 250. You're becoming Snorlax. Anybody know who Snorlax is? Please tell me we still remember who Snorlax is. um, because Jamarcus Russell is kind of big. No, he better not be that fucking big. Oh no! Don't do it to me. Don't. Oh, Canada saved me first of all because I don't know what this is in America. In America, no, no, no. I won't believe that. There is no way we drafted somebody that big. Did we really draft somebody who was a quarterback that was 265 pounds? Raiders. Old Raiders. No, we didn't. Yeah, we did. We did. Oh, God. No, he was too big for quarterback. He was too big for quarterback. Come on. He was too big for quarterback. Oh, dude, he was Snorlax. He was Snorlax, man. Oh no, I didn't know how bad it was. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, so when he lets himself go, this is what he'll look like. And you know what? You're about to see. I actually think Jameis Winston was the same issue. I think Jameis Winston's body is not well enough for quarterback. It fluctuates too much to be a quarterback. I think that was Jameis Winston's big problem because he also had a cannon, but you can't move and your accuracy is not good because your body is just a little bit. Put it this way, if I was John Spytek, I would never draft a quarterback that weighs more than 225. I won't do it. It's too much. Oh man, we drove this logic straight down to realizing what the Raiders did wrong drafting Jamarcus Russell. Even though everybody was saying pick Jamarcus Russell because he was the best coming out of college, but the man was a whale. The man was a whale. He was a whale. I'm looking for the image of him like sleeping, not sleeping, but yawning. This one, guys, check this out. This is this is quite literally what Snorlax was like when you met him. This is what Snorlax was actually doing when you met him. I'll show you right now. Someone's like, what the Snorlax? What are you talking about, dude? Snorlax. Do you not? I'm not even making this up. Big Ben. Okay, let's go Big Ben. Big Ben was drafted by the Steelers. He was 6'5", 240. It was a great quarterback. His problem was he didn't watch film. Actually, no, I'm gonna disagree. That I wasn't Jamarcus' problem that he didn't watch film. Do you realize how much of a cop out that is for a coach? He didn't watch film. What do you mean he didn't watch film? You're the coach. You mean you didn't watch film with him? No, his problem was it wasn't that he didn't watch film. This is, and I get that it makes sense because it feeds into the laziness thing. It's like watching film isn't that difficult. I don't think that was. I don't really think that's what it was. I think that's what the coaching staff made up. Guys, when Lane Kiffin, because remember, Lane Kiffin was also a rookie coach. Lane Kiffin was not a good coach when he started. He was not a good coach. I think he made the shit up that the man wasn't watching film because that doesn't make sense. You are the film. The film is you, the coach. You teach him you teach him your plays. He was a rookie. What film was he gonna watch? He has to learn the new playbook. The coach needs to sit with him and actually show him what's going on. So no, that wasn't it. The- Trust me, that story I think is false. I think that's Lane Kiffin's team that made that story up. I honestly do. I think Lane Kiffin realized that he wasn't a good coach, just made a bunch of stuff up that weren't true. I really do. Because again, even if this is true, oh, we gave him blank tips. Why did you give him blank tips? Just give him the real. Well, we wanted to test him. That's not the test you should be giving him. Why are you testing your quarterback by faking him out? Okay, let's go with this scenario. So you hand Jamarcus Russell tape. You say this is tape, but then you want to test to see if he watched it. By Jamarcus Russell goes home, opens up the tape at least once, right? Because at least he opened it up once. Or are you saying that he just took the tape and just shoved it to the side because he was that lazy? That's not even laziness. That's not laziness. That's just lack of enthusiasm. That just means he didn't like the coach. He didn't like the team. He didn't want to be there. That's not laziness. So you give him a tape. He goes home, opens up the tape and realizes there's nothing here. Okay, he goes back the next day and the coach asks him, "Oh, what was the play? What? I'm sorry. What do you think he was supposed to say?" Jamarcus Russell was like 23 years old. He was supposed to say, "Coach, are you trying to fake me out? There's no film in here." Yeah, so if that story follows that logic, yeah, he just made up what he thought was supposed to be the test. You don't test your quarterbacks, you teach your quarterbacks to prove he wasn't. But why would you send him blank tapes? Why would you do that? You're supposed to be teaching him, not trying to fuck with his brain. So no, Lane Kiffin made that story up. The problem with Jamarcus Russell is that he just wasn't a good quarterback. He had a cannon, but he didn't have accuracy. We all saw it, right? I mean, fine. let's just push the story aside of him being lazy. The things we couldn't see, what did we actually see on the field? He had a cannon, but he had no accuracy. And he had no speed because he was so big. It doesn't matter how much tape he watches. If you can't throw the ball accurately because your arms are too big and flabby, what does it matter how much tape you watch? It doesn't matter how much tape you watch. So that's what was wrong with Jamarcus Russell. He only played one good year at LSU. And beyond that, there wasn't anything else. So sure, he was lazy. Fine, let's go with lazy. But on the field, the problem was he wasn't accurate. After he got paid, he got lazy. Sure, okay, cool, fine. Let's go with that narrative. Big boy Jamarcus Russell got paid, got rich, and then bounced. Well, guess what? He still made $60 million. Can I take his place? All right, my man. But in the ponds, we'll see you later. So yeah, I would gladly take his place if that's the case. But I think I would go with what I saw on tape. He wasn't a good quarterback because he simply didn't. He wasn't an accurate thrower of the ball, and he didn't have enough speed to move around. Yeah, that is a much clearer story than we tried to trick him, and he failed the trick. It's like, okay, well, thanks, you're a bad coach, and that's why we fired Lane Kiffin. The best thing that Davis did was to fire Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin was not a good coach. He was not a good coach at the time. Since then, though, Lane Kiffin has become a really, really good coach. So, yeah. Oof. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude this tonight. This was fun, guys. This was real fun. Remember, tomorrow, Biz, I'm going to be on Raider Biz show at 7 p.m. I will be here streaming, so we're gonna link up and you guys will see that. So tomorrow will be a Raider Squad show. So if you guys want to be here for that, it's going to be a ton of fun. It is getting late. Got to go to bed. Bush Raider. You were born in 1986. I was born in 1984. Welcome to the group, my man. We'll be back again tomorrow. We will talk more Raiders. But trust me, we were not talking about Jamarcus Russell. That was like a conversation that sprung up. I don't care about Jamarcus Russell. He got rich. He got lazy. He moved on. Raiders are moving on. And going forward, the Raiders are in a much, much better position than we were even a year ago. And that's the story of the Raiders. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I know you already left, Venti, but thank you again for finding me. This is a new time. We'll be starting generally between 9 o'clock and 9:30 when we stream. As always, grace and peace. Go Raiders.